I keep my stash of lumber back here that I don't really know what to do with. This is a chunk of what I think is white oak that I got from either a furniture shop or a mill shop a couple of years ago. It's been sitting back here for quite some time and I have no idea what to do with it, so I figured today I'll make a bowl out of it. I'm starting by tracing the biggest circle I can and cutting that out on the bandsaw. I love using scraps and cutoffs like this because otherwise all of this wood would have gone either to a landfill or getting burned, and I'd much rather make something beautiful out of it. There are a couple different ways of attaching a piece of wood like this to a lathe. You can use a faceplate or you can use a wormwood screw. I prefer a faceplate, even though it's a little bit bigger and more unwieldy. It's much more secure in my opinion. Safety first, don't forget your face shield. I'm going to use my favorite half-inch bowl gouge throughout this entire process. This is an Irish grind or a fingernail grind or an Ellsworth grind depending on who you ask, and since this is very old dry wood, I just sharpened this gouge, so it is extra sharp and it's making really nice shavings. I started by just turning the blank round, and now I'm starting to shape the bottom corner of the bowl. I'm just taking pretty shallow passes, and the shape of the bowl is never really something that I know before I start turning. It's just something that sort of comes out of the bowl. You have to wait and see what's inside, and the shape just kind of comes. That's one of my favorite things about turning bowls, is that no two pieces are ever quite the same. I'm going to take one final pass on the outside, and then I'm going to start shaping the tenon on the bottom. This is going to hold it in the chuck for when I start hollowing out the inside. There you just saw me using a 3D printed measuring gauge. That shows me the minimum and maximum size that my chuck will hold. So with the outside completed, now I can remove the faceplate and put it in the chuck and start hollowing out the inside. Like I said, I'm using the same half-inch bowl gouge for hollowing out the inside that I used for the outside. I'm going to start by just cleaning up the face of the bowl before I start the actual hollowing. Don't ever do what I'm doing right there, which is raising the tool rest while the lathe is running. That's never a smart idea. And of course I decided to do it twice. Don't do that. So I'm starting from the center and working my way towards the rim, but you see I'm leaving that mass in the center of the bowl. This is actually going to help keep it somewhat stable while I'm turning the outside. The outer wings will start to flex some if I removed all of that, and that's going to cause vibration, and in its most extreme form, the bowl can actually basically explode and fly apart. So with the rim of the bowl all cleaned up, now I can take one final pass to get the walls to their final thickness. And I can start removing that center mass. And here I'm just using a homemade depth gauge to make sure that I'm not about to turn through the bottom of the bowl and make this into a funnel. I've only done that once before and it made me feel really, really stupid, so I'm always extra careful now. So now I am finishing the bottom of the bowl, and now I will try to blend the wall in with the bottom. And now it's done. Now I'm just using a negative rake scraper to get rid of the tool marks and really blend the bottom of the bowl with the walls so that it's a really nice smooth transition. Now the turning is all done, so we can all bask in the glory of sanding. Don't worry, I made it extra fast so we don't have to sit through it. Now this is part of turning that I actually find the most satisfying is vacuuming up the huge mess that even a small bowl like this can make. I don't know why I enjoy this part so much, but let me know if you enjoy it as much as I do down in the comments. To finish the bowl, I'm going to use my usual combination. First, it is a homemade abrasive paste, and I will be making a video about that at some point in the future. I just worked that in for about a minute or two, and now I'm using a combination of food-grade mineral oil and food-grade beeswax to put in really, really nice shine on the bowl. And I am really, really happy with how this bowl turned out. It is really extra, super duper smooth. So now the only thing left to do is to finish the bottom. To do that, I decided to use my new and improved donut chuck. I just put a new stem on it, which looks super ugly, and I added some new 3D printed knobs. The nice thing about the donut chuck is it's held really, really securely, as scary as it looks from the backside, and I can finish the entire bottom in one step. I used to use my Longworth chuck more for bowl bottoms, but for small bowls like this, the donut chuck is actually a little bit faster to set up and a little bit faster to use, and it actually holds the bowl even more securely. With the bottom of the bowl done right now, now I can sand it the same way up to 400 grit, and then use the same combination of abrasive paste and mineral oil and beeswax. I do hate to ask this, but if you haven't hit like yet, please just take a second and hit that like button, and if you feel like I deserve it, please do also consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it, and it really does help small channels like mine. Thanks. And with that, this bowl is officially done. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. The bowl turned out beautiful, I think, and I hope to see you next time.